alive and here. They'd escape together and find something to do, even if it was just going outside to kick rocks around the parking lot. Andy was good that way. He was always there when you needed him. Except for now. Khai's big brother sat beside him, but he knew Guan wouldn't want to leave early. Funerals existed for people like Guan. He needed the closure or whatever it was people got from them. With his intimidating build and the new tattoos on his neck and arms, Guan looked like one badass motherfucker, but his eyes were rimmed red. From time to time, he discreetly brushed the moisture from his cheeks. Just like always, Khai wished he could be more like his brother. A metal bowl rang, and the chanting stopped. Relief was instant and dizzying, like an enormous pressure had suddenly dissolved. The monks worked with the pallbearers to close the casket, and soon a procession filed sedately down the center aisle. Because he disliked standing in lines on the claustrophobic press of bodies, Khai stayed seated as Guan got to his feet, squeezed his shoulder once, and joined the exodus. He watched as relatives trudged past. Some cried openly. Others were more stoic, but their sadness was obvious even to him. Aunts, uncles, cousins, distant relations, and friends of the family all supported each other, joined together by this thing called grief. As usual, Khai was not a part of it. A group of older women that consisted of his mom, Yi Mai, and two of his other aunts brought up the end of the line because of a near-fainting spell, sticking close in adulthood just like everyone said they had as young girls. If it weren't for the fact that they all wore black, they could have been attending a wedding. Diamonds and jade hung from their ears, throats, and fingers, and he could smell their makeup and perfume through the haze of the incense. As they passed his row, he stood and straightened the hand-me-down suit coat from Guan. He had a lot of growing up to do if he was ever going to fill this thing out. And pull-ups. Thousands of pull-ups. He'd start those tonight. When he looked up, he discovered the ladies had all paused next to him. Yimai reached a hand toward his cheek but stopped before touching him. She searched his face with solemn eyes. "I thought you two were close. Don't you care that he's gone?" His heart jumped and started beating so fast it hurt. When he tried to speak, nothing came out. His throat was swollen shut. Of course they were close. His mom chided her sister before tugging on her arm. "Come, Mai, let's go. They're waiting for us." With his feet frozen to the floor, he watched as they disappeared through the doorway. Logically, he knew he was standing in place, but he felt like he was falling. Down, down, down. "I thought you two were close." Ever since his elementary school teacher insisted his parents take him to a psychologist, he'd known he was different. The majority of his family, however, had discounted the resulting diagnosis, saying he was merely a little strange. There was no such thing as autism or Asperger's syndrome in the countryside of Vietnam. Besides, he didn't get into trouble and did well in school. What did it matter? "I thought you two were close." The words wouldn't stop echoing in his head, bringing him to an unwelcome self-realization. He was different, yes, but in a bad way. "I thought you two were close." Andy hadn't just been his best friend. He'd been his only friend. Andy was as close got for Khai. If he couldn't grieve for Andy, that meant he couldn't grieve at all. And if he couldn't grieve, the flip side also had to be true. He couldn't love. Andy had been right. Khai's heart really was made of metaphorical stone. The knowledge spread over him like petroleum in an oil spill.